One name the Oklahoma Sooners added to the 2026 recruiting class, Tyler Ruxer. Let's get to know the four-star tight end out of Indiana coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thanks again for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. The Oklahoma Sooners received a commitment from four-star tight end out of Indiana, Tyler Ruxer. Jay.
Big pickup for the Sooners. The 6'4", 220-pounder is a good mixed bag of what you're looking for when it comes to a pass-catching tight end. High school numbers as a junior, 43 catches, 893 yards, and 12 touchdowns. But, John, that's not the biggest part about it. He was averaging 20.7 yards a reception. Absurd for a tight end. So, when we watched the film, and we talked about this in the green room, you saw that they lined him up just about everywhere. He played the XY, he played the Z, he played a little tight end, he was offset, he played in the backfield as an H-back. He moved around a lot of different places, and you could see his 6'4", 220-pound frame being all over the place. The picture of him with Joe John Finley, he's a big dude, and Joe John is legitimately 6'6". He was right there neck and neck with them, basically, and he's going to add a nice component to it. One other piece, though, one other little known fact about him is he's fast. He played corner as well as wide receiver there in Indiana. It was at Heritage Hills. He ran a 11-14 in track. So he did it all. Won state championships. That dude's everywhere. So he's a lot faster than you would have anticipated for his size, and he does a really good job of getting to the ball at the high point.
What I saw of him as a dude that's got the speed to break away from cornerbacks, safeties, linebackers. You line him up at tight end, and he's going to give linebackers fits. He's just got that dynamic ability. He's going to be able to stretch the field vertically. He's going to be able to run the seam, which that's something that Oklahoma just hasn't had consistently since maybe Mark Andrews left. Like, Braden Willis was really good, but he wasn't doing a lot of his damage up the seam. He was playing over the middle, yes, but he wasn't threatening the middle of the field where teams that wanted to play too high safety weren't going to be threatened because Oklahoma didn't have anybody that could split the safeties and go make a play. So this is one of those guys that's got that ability. He's got to add size. He's got to add bulk. He's got to add strength. He's going to have to figure out the inline blocking situation because I didn't see a lot of that on his highlights. I did see a guy that could split out into the slot. I did see a guy that's willing to block. That's somebody who they lined him up in the backfield as a fullback at times, and he showed a willingness and an assertiveness in his blocking and was able to put guys on the ground. So he's got that going for him. It's just a little bit different ball game going from playing in space to playing right up next to the left tackle and having to block the defensive end from time to time, or combo block on a defensive end and then flank out and go get another second level defender. So he's going to have a lot that he's going to have to learn. I don't know if he can be somebody that steps in and contributes right away, but I do think he does have the ability to contribute in the passing game early if they find some packages for him where it's like, hey, we're in 2-minute drill. Tyler Ruxer, he can help us here. Let's get him on the field. But beyond that, he's got some room. He's got some developing he's going to have to do.
No, I totally agree with you there. I think that the thing that I see different, only pushback I would have is I could see him contributing pretty early because he can play wide receiver. Like, he has the speed and size to play truly in the slot as like a big slot guy, especially with the speed. Like, he's one of the rare tight ends that we've seen at his size that can go out and play corner and actually make plays. Like, when you watch his film, he's out there playing corner, he's backpedaling, he's going out there, and the next thing you know, he's going to the high point of the ball and getting an interception. Like, you don't get that very often from a dude at 6'4", 220 pounds, especially one that even in some of the film, you got to see him do some inline blocking. It wasn't bad. But you could tell that that's something to work on. But at the same time, he's like ginormous compared to most of the competition he's going against. He's a very big dude. Like, he looks physically imposing. And so you add an additional 30 pounds in which he probably can hit the weight room and do that. Or you keep him kind of smaller and you keep him as a slot type receiver, like you would have him play like an Ivan Carry-On type size, and you have him go out there and, play the slot. So I think there's a lot of different places you can do him. I think that's what helps him the most, is that he does have versatility, because he does have the size and it looks like the strength, but he's also quick enough and agile enough to where he's probably going to be more of a pass catcher, and he's going to add to a room that's really going to be going through a really big refresh after this season. I mean, you'll still have Caden Helms as well as K McIntyre around, but you'll have Trinae Washington, who's probably going to be your lead tight end going forward this coming season. And then you add these two in with Ryder Mix as well as Tyler Ruxer. Now you've got a couple more tight ends for Joe John Finley and Ben Arbuckle to play around with. That's going to be a lot different than what we've had over the last couple of years.
Well, they'll portal a guy. They're just going to have to,
most likely,
unless they redshirt Jaron Canick for some reason and decide to bring him back for 2026. I only say that as a possibility because he's making the transition to tight end himself. Yep. And if they say, you know what, just work on the position this year, redshirt, and be ready to contribute significantly next year, that'll help us more.
That's fair. We've got three, so we got old tight ends, so we could do that.
Yeah, so I think there's a possibility there, but you still will probably need to portal some guy to get some veteran insurance. But I like the young room that they've got with Trinae Washington, Ryder Mix, and Tyler Ruxer. I like those three. I think you're still a couple years away from seeing them contribute significantly. I think Trinae Washington's got all the talent in the world, but much like with Tyler Ruxer and with Ryder Mix, he's going to have to add size. He's going to have to add some bulk and some functional strength to be able to play in line at the tight end position, which if you're going to run 11 personnel and you want your tight end to block, they're going to have to block some big dudes at defensive end in the SEC. So I still think that there's some developmental process that needs to take place, but that's okay. It's a developmental game. You've got time. There's no reason to rush these guys onto the field, but you're going to have to get something out of them. Tight end has been one of those spots that has not really contributed in the way that we expect over the last couple of years. And so all eyes are going to be on Trinae and Tyler Ruxer and Ryder Mix and Caden Helms, if they can get him healthy and on the field and contributing, and Cade McIntyre, because the time is now, man. They got to contribute, man. Tight end has been a net negative too much the last couple of years.
It really has. It's been pretty brutal. While at the same time, I mean, you get it. It's just unfortunate. Just bad luck in the injury department. I mean, Braden Willis has been your last one that you've really had a lot of success with. And I mean, truth be told, Bauer Sharp would have been really good to have this year. Again, I'm sorry. I know a lot of y'all aren't fun, but at the same time, I felt like, you have him, things would be a lot different because he could catch. You just don't need him doing everything, which again, you learn quickly that, how that works, but I digress. I do like the pickup of...
Love the pickup. It's great.
I like the pickup of Ruxer. And I like that he's adding to this class. It's the 15th one in this class, and now we just got to continue to push forward.
Yeah, I was watching him today or whenever the commitment came down, and I was like, this dude's got juice. He is juicy. And he's going to make some big plays, and he's going to stretch and threaten some defenses, which is a lot of fun, dude. You get a tight end like that on the field that is going to make defenses think about him. That just opens up so many things for you as an offense.
Agreed.
The Oklahoma Sooners may not have had the success that they want to have on the football field in year one in the SEC, but Greg Sankey is still encouraged by what he believes Oklahoma can be. We'll discuss coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.